Good morning. I don't know about you guys, but my quads are sore. Thank you, Craig. I had to do the cool down of the week, and one of the things was saddle, and I was like, I can't get into that right now. So that's why we have the block, because we're going to be using the block for a couple things, and we'll have a band today. Block is not necessary if you're at home and you don't have one, but a band you'll definitely want to use. So we'll just put those things off to the side and just find a comfortable seat. So I'm pretty tight in this position here, so I'm going to opt to sit cross-legged. You can also sit on your block. If your hips are really tight, that's also a nice option. Okay, so close the eyes, hands anywhere that's comfortable in the lap. And we're going to just start refocusing our attention to our breathing. You just gently close the mouth and just breathe through the nose. Just focus on smoothing out the breath. Might be the first time we're just breathing through the nose today. Breathing big into the lungs. Just working through anything that feels a little stuck or stiff. And we're going to go through a breathing series that's a simple 5 counts. So it'll be 5 counts on the inhale, a short pause, just like a 1 count pause, and then 5 counts on the exhale, and then a 1 count pause. I'll count you through it. And we're trying to create as much length in that breath as we can. Okay, so starting with the inhale all together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one together. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just a couple more rounds on your own, keeping this rhythm. Feeling the ribs expand on the inhale and soften back on the exhale. Now moving forward, 5 counts might be a little long, so I want you to find a count that feels a little bit more comfortable and not super forced at the very top or the bottom. So maybe that's 3, maybe it's 4, just a few cycles of that shorter breath, just so it feels more natural and something that you can maintain as we stretch. All right, now maintaining that breathing, gently open the eyes. And then we're going to come on to our backs. Okay? So finding your way all the way onto your back. And then bring the knees into the chest. We're going to need our strap at some point, so make sure it's handy. And give those knees a little squeeze. Make circles one way with the knees and the other way, just massaging the lower back a little. And then keeping the knees together, arms out wide like a T. Drop the knees over to the right side. Nice and easy. Gravity does the work here, so get soft in this twist. Let the upper body feel heavy and open up gently. Inhale to bring the knees through center. And exhale over to the other side. And inhale, draw the knees back to center. A little squeeze into the chest. And then grab your band. We're going to wrap the band around the arch of the right foot. Extend the left leg onto the floor. Okay. And then from here, we're going to place the band into the left hand. So both sides of the strap are in the left hand. Right arm out like a T, palms down. Now you're keeping your right hip connected to the floor, so you can feel that right lower back kind of pushing onto the ground. Gently draw your right foot over to the left without lifting your hip up. You're going to feel what we're feeling is that IT band. It's not really stretching the IT band, it's the surrounding musculature. But keeping that hip on the floor as that leg leans will intensify that stretch on the side of the leg. Good. And inhale to bring that leg through center. Now place the strap into the other hand. Okay. Left arm now out like a T. And you're going to have to maybe anchor into that left side a little bit because we're going to let that right leg fall to the right as far down as it wants to go. So let it fall all the way. And inhale to bring the leg through center. We're going to switch sides. So replace that right foot with the left foot. Okay. Strap goes into the right hand and left arm out like a T. Keeping the hips and lower back connected to the floor, gently draw the right leg over to the left. And you start to feel the outer edge of that left leg and all of the stuff that needs to get stretched. Inhale, draw the leg through center. Switch hands, right arm out to anchor yourself on that right side. And then exhale, left leg falls to the left as far as it wants to go. Bringing the leg through center. We're going to stay with the band, put both arches of the feet into the band, coming into a double leg reclined hamstring stretch. So I want your lower back to be on the floor and your toes to curl towards your shins. So you got a nice tight back of the leg position. And then from here, keeping everything straight, legs straight, back straight. If you can, draw the legs a little closer to you. On your next exhale, gently unhook the band from the feet. Just place it off to the side. We'll come get it later. Hug the knees into the chest for a little squeeze. And then rocking forward and back a couple times until you've rocked forward onto the hands and knees. Any way you want to get there. All right, let's go through a couple cat-cow. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, starting with the classic version, which is just dropping the belly, arching the back, and lifting the chest. And then pressing through the palms, we round the back, curl the tailbone down, chin to chest. And then again, drop the belly, arch and lift. Round, feel the shoulder blades separate as you stretch the space between them. And then for a few more reps, you can kind of add anything you want. So body rolls, some circles, hip wiggles. Good. All right. Now, next up, coming into child's pose side stretch. So toes will come together, knees apart, and then sit back towards the heels. We're going to walk the hands forward and then over to the right side. Now, when we walk the hands over to the right side, the left hand ends up being the most important piece here. So you're going to press your left palm into the floor and try to pull the hips back away from that hand so you get the traction you need to get a good stretch. And then you can feel through the stretch by moving around a little bit, rolling the ribs down, rolling them up. Good. Now releasing and walking the hands through center and over to the other side. And again, now this right hand is the most important. We're going to anchor it down. And we're going to pull the hips back away from that arm to open through that right side. And then play around with moving. See how different changes of the position change the stretch that you feel. And inhale, walking the hands through center, and then back towards the knees. We're going to come into single leg child's pose. So this right leg is going to kick out, toes forward, okay, and you sit towards the heel. Now, if you dropped your forearms down and you don't really feel a stretch here, then what I'd like you to do is shimmy your right foot out a little bit more to open up the position. And then maybe you're sitting more inside of that left foot rather than right on top of it. Okay, so finding that position that gives you a good stretch. All right, inhale, come onto the hands, but don't move the legs. Yes. And then from here, we're going to start turning the toes up by rolling the outer right hip down and then forward. And so by doing that, you might feel a change of the position of the stretch. You might be able to get deep, like really high up into the hamstrings connection up there through the hip. So rolling the outer hip down and forward. Do you guys feel that when we drop the hip down? Yeah, good. Okay, let's go ahead and reset, and we'll go to the other side. And so now left foot kicks out, first come onto the forearms so we know we have that position to relax into. And then shimmy that left foot out a little more if we need more space, we need more stretch. Good. Now coming on to the hands without changing the lower body position. Just start turning the toes up, rolling the outer hip down, and then forward. So you get high up into that hamstrings connection. Good. Let's gently release out of that. Back to the hands and knees. All right, we're going to come into cactus. So if your shoulders are a little sore from some of the push-ups and the benches that we've done this week, just kind of ease into it. And remember with cactus, this, if we're going single arm, this is the starting position, okay? And then depending on where you feel the stretch, you might lift the elbow up or the hand goes out, or a combination, okay? So we'll start here, and then you'll be able to move that hand depending on where you need to feel the stretch. So let's come onto the belly. Right arm is going to go out into that cactus position, that right angle, okay? Then we're going to roll to the outer right hip. Let the head come down, and then from there, it's deciding what angle that arm needs to be at to get the stretch you need. And then for me today, I just had to walk the elbow up a little bit higher than the height of the shoulder. And now I'm kind of getting the spot I want. And exhale to gently roll to the belly. And we're going to go the other side. So start with the 45-degree angle and then roll up and over. And then decide how we need to shift that position for cactus to get you what you need on that stretch. Good. Exhale. Roll back to the belly. And then let's just push back into a quick child's pose. Arms will go out in front, forehead to the mat. Try to relax everything towards the floor. Good. From here, let's go ahead and tuck the toes. On your next exhale, you're going to push back into downward facing dog. Now in this down dog position, just pedal out the feet. Get those calves stretched out. Good. Now separate your feet about hips distance or where your deadlift might be. And then just walk the hands back towards the toes. We're going to stay in this fold, okay? So a little bend in the knees as you allow the torso to hang. You should feel a little bit of release in the lower back as everything just gets soft in the upper body. You can grab elbows if you want. You can sway side to side. Good. Now hands to the hips, and with a gentle lift, we stand all the way. Good. Okay. Grab your block. So you might find that you don't want to use your block, but I'm going to show you with the block, and then you can decide. So next thing we're going to do is come into pyramid. And so pyramid position without the block is not tightrope. We've got a little bit of space, back foot, heels down, front foot forward. Okay. But I'm going to level this up a little bit by putting the heel on the floor, toe on the block. And then I'm going to come into, and we've done this at the rig before, and then I'm going to come into my folds. Okay. You might find balance is a challenge, and so separating those feet a little bit wider gives you a good base. Okay. Heel on the floor, toe on the block. Step it back a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to try to square up the hips. And then from here, we reach. Ooh, yeah, a little extra. And try to take that left hip and squeeze, or whichever hip you have, or whichever foot you have on the block, take that hip and squeeze it in towards the center so that we square hips a little bit more. There we go. Good. Now inhale brings you up. And we're going to switch sides. Okay. And square those hips first, make it a little easier to get into position. And then from there, we bow. Ooh, one side might be tighter than the other. Ooh. Yeah, and keep squeezing those hips in towards the center so we keep those hips square. Good. And let's gently come out of that. Okay. And then next up, we're going to come into triangle. You might find the block is helpful for the triangle in any kind of height. So like up, you get the 3 heights. So what you're going to do is we're going to go into a position where left foot faces the left and my right toes are forward. So you guys can turn to the white wall. Yeah. So left toes are forward. Okay. And then right toes face the wall. Okay. Now, taking your block in your left hand, again, it's going to be depending upon the size that you use, depends on what you need. We're going to sit up really tall, arms out like a T, and then you're going to take your hips and push them back to the wall behind you. So we're going to go this way, okay? And then keeping the back really flat, we're going to bow to the side. Hand comes inside of that foot. Yeah, and so we're trying to get long through the spine, so top of the head reaches away. The hands are reaching away from each other, and the legs are super long. You should feel a good stretch through the hamstrings. Good. Right hand to the hip, bend that left knee, and just go ahead and stand. And then we just turn the toes the opposite way. Okay, so now right toes face the wall behind us. And then arms out, you're going to take your left hip. I call it sassy butt. So maybe that helps a little bit where it's like, right? So it's like sassy butt. So you push your butt back. Okay, there we go. And then we bow. Hand comes inside of that foot. The block is at any height that you need. And hopefully that sassiness gives you a little more stretch in that right leg. Get long through the torso, top of the head reaches away. Good. Now bend that right knee a little bit and then just bring yourself to stand. Okay. And then now toes turn forward. You're going to face that wall. Okay. And then I don't know if we'll need the block, but all we're going to do is just come to a forward fold. If you want the block, because your hands don't touch the ground, no problem. Or if we don't need it, just push that off to the side. And we're just kind of bowing here. You can also bring your torso over to one side, like one shin or the other, if you're feeling you need a little extra love on one side. And so just play around a little bit with what you're feeling here. Cool. And then an easy transition to down dog. So you're going to walk the hands to the top of the mat, step it back into that down dog. See how different the down dog feels. Hopefully it feels a little bit better, a little easier on the backside. Okay. And we're going to come into pigeon. So from here, you're going to bring your right knee towards your right wrist and then place your right shin on the floor and then scoot your leg back. And lo and behold, we've got a block. If your butt is really high off the floor like mine is, you can scoot a block right underneath and then come down to the forearms. You might find you want to use the block also for your torso, so you can use it on the forearms to prop yourself up. You can also put your forehead on it. Use the block to support this position so that you can soften everything that you can. All right, gently come onto the hands, and then we're going to ease our way back to down dog. Now, when you get there, you might find it's helpful to lift the right leg up and to just kind of shake it out a little bit. All right, and then let's go second side. Left knee to left wrist, scoot it back. Okay, now again, find that position that's comfortable. So maybe start with the block under the hip or under the forearms, and then, as things open up, we shift to keep the intensity of the stretch. All right, now slowly making your way out of that. Back to that down dog. We just give that left leg a little lift, a little shake out. And let's go ahead and bring our knees down towards the ground. Okay. Grab your block. And we're going to bring the knees together, toes apart, and then we're going to sit on the block. You might need to sit on the like really high end or the medium end. Okay. But we want to sit in a position where there's a little bit of a stretch, but it's not like painful, right? It's going to probably be a little intense. Now, if you can sit between the feet without your block, that's cool, and do that. Okay. But I can't do that today. Is everybody feeling that stretch right on the top of the thighs? Yeah. Tops of the feet? Yeah. Okay. Now, if we do have a little bit more today, oh man. If you have a little more, ooh, you're going to lean back. Oh, those are all those squats this week. Oh, I used to be the yoga instructor that could do all the cool things. I can't do nothing now. Oh my goodness. Good. Gently come out of that. Move the block off to the side. And then bring your feet and your shins and your knees together. Toe stretch, because we're here. So curl the toes under. And then lift the knees, because I want you to feel all 10 toes on the floor. So sometimes we just have to like spread the toes out and get in good position. And then from here, we drop the knees back down. You might find this is all you got today, and that's cool. We might find a little bit more lift of the chest. Ooh. And breathe. Yeah. All right, exhale to release. Oh, uncurl the toes and just slowly move them around. All right, let's go onto our backs for the final little series. You may want your band, but you may not. We're going to start with a glute stretch, so you don't need it quite yet. So lay all the way back. You're going to put left foot on the floor, right foot over and above the knee, and then pull the left knee into the chest. Now from here, you have a couple options on how to hold on to this stretch, okay? You're going to either thread the hands through the leg, grab for the back of the thigh or the shin, okay? Or you can grab your right foot and your right knee, and as you pull the shin in with the left knee, you've got your arms to help a little bit. Gently unwind from that. Right foot on the floor, left foot over and above the knee. Either thread the hands through so that you got the back of the thigh or the shin, or grab the left foot and the left knee and then gently draw the shin in a little tighter. Good. Gently release. And then we're going to come into our final hamstring stretch. If you want the band, you can grab it and wrap it around the foot. If not, you're going to grab for the back of your right thigh and then just let that right leg go up towards the ceiling. Toes are curling gently towards the shins, so you get a little bit of tension through the calf muscle. And that right foot, go ahead and make some ankle rolls. Try to point the toes, flex, maybe get a little stretch in the top of the foot. Good. And then just go ahead and switch. So bend your right knee, slide that right leg onto the floor, left leg goes up towards the sky, and then grab for what you can. And just start by flexing your left toes to your shin. And then you can make some ankle circles, point and flex the foot, stretch out the top. Good. Now go ahead and release that. Bring both knees into the chest. Final reclined twist. So let's put the left foot on the floor, and then you're going to cross your right thigh over your left thigh, like you're sitting in a chair. Then you're going to scoot your hips over to the right so that as your knees fall to the left, you're rolling more to the outer edge of the left hip. Now, this might be a little too intense, and if it is, we can unwind and just do our regular, either both knees off to the side or just keep that right knee and left leg on the floor and long. And then inhale, we'll bring the knees gently through center. You're going to uncross, reset the hips, cross the left over the right, scoot the hips to the left so that as those knees drop, you're feeling you're rolling to the outer right hip. All right, gently unwind and bring yourself through center. I'm going to go one final squeeze of the knees to the chest. Take a big inhale through the nose. And then open the mouth side out as those legs extend onto the mat. And then get comfortable. Arms anywhere that feel good alongside the body, on the belly. Wherever feels comfortable. Keep the eyes closed. And then circle back to that longer inhale and exhale that we did in the very beginning, with the pause between each. Go through a few cycles like that. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Reach your arms overhead, full body stretch like you're waking up in the morning. And then we're going to roll over to the right side. Just a moment there, moment or two there before you roll to a seat. And then when you feel ready, find your way back to a seated position. Eyes stay closed, hands anywhere that's comfortable. A couple more moments here with the breath, just making it smooth, feeling centered and focused. And then gently opening the eyes. I don't know about you, but I could have stayed laying there for a lot longer. So well done today. Thank you guys for coming in. Hopefully we feel pretty loose, ready to go. We've got deadlifts on Tuesday, so that's going to be fun. Get ready for that. And then I'll see you guys next week for another good one. Okay, thank you. All right. Have you guys ever been to like a 90-minute yoga class? Have you ever done 90 minutes? Dude, if you want to feel like, ooh, at the end, like a 90-minute yoga class where you're like in poses for a long time. It's just, and then you have Shavasana for like 15 minutes. That's the good stuff, or you just get to lay there for like 10 or 15 minutes at the end.